Hey, how's it? Aloha, Geebz here, your old composer here at the Decomposer Lounge, decomposing and dissecting your favorite tracks. Now, Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. I already did the track, right? And even at that point, I knew the song. We all know the song and everything. But I had quite a few people leave a comment on please check out their acoustic version, of which I tried to find, but I guess there was no real, like an MTV Unplugged version or something until somebody sent me this link. And I listened to a little bit of it because, you know, I want to check the sound quality. When I look at dates and it says like 2006 on it, you know, because of compression of YouTube and gosh knows how they got the file in the first place, what it might sound like. And there was two versions of these, and then there was another version with more of a recent performance, but it did have the drums and an electric guitar in it as well. Not quite as gritty, but I decided to go with this one. Because of the orchestral arrangement, let alone the performance itself. So I just want to thank you guys in advance, like usual, for your support. You see any advertisement? What? Doesn't support my channel. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, super cool beans, the link will be down below. For headsets, cup of coffee, my Patreon too, you can check that out. If you just click on the link, you can see what I've posted there. If you want to join just for 1 month and then bail just so you can watch all that sort of stuff, that would be super cool. That helps support the channel as well. All right, let's do this. Metallica, Nothing Else Matters, acoustic version. All right.
No matter how far, couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters.
All right, so, you know, I think, you know, a lot of fans of Metallica, even if you're not a fan that's super hardcore, will admit that, or at least lean into that this was definitely the stairway to heaven for Metallica. Performance-wise, the way it was written, you know, James's voice, to me, you know, he's like, Metallica is such a legendary, you know, rock, a metal band, and the performance that he's been putting on his whole life as a singer, to be able to execute, to me, acoustic version of a song like this, and his voice sounds just as cool, just as recognizable, and just as powerful, yet the notes are not being blasted out, you know, from here and, you know, trying, you know, on a mic and getting over the you know, full metal band and stuff. he just the performance on this is just it's his vocals are just unreal, and the fact that he sounds as good as he still does, considering the genre, you know, of rock and roll and what that can do to somebody's voice. Now I know maybe this was 2006, but I've heard him sing recently, like about 3 or 4 weeks ago online. I'm like, oh, this guy just sounds the same as he was pretty much when he was, you know, in his 20s and killing it. Let's talk about the arrangement really quick, and I'll get right back into it. The orchestral arrangement on this is very subtle but complex, and what makes this speak out in complexity is the dynamics in which the orchestra is being conducted, and I'm sure that it also is a result of the dynamics that are on the music that's being read. And you hear this kind of swelling of strings coming in and out and flowing with the acoustic performance. And at the very beginning, you kind of get a nuance, or you get a feel of a melody that we recognize before James comes in, with some lines that come in from the strings. But what's really super cool, and I'm going to try to make this my only stop, as we move forward, I want you to listen to the builds and the pullbacks and the answer and calls of the arrangements. You know, you'll hear strings doing a series, let's say an ostinato, da 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 da, and then maybe it's in divisi. Divisi means it takes a string section, like violins, and then splits them in two. It's paper, it's on paper and stuff, and you have violins holding an ostinato while another set of violins is actually holding a counter melody to what's being sung, or within the rhythmical arrangements. I want you to focus on, focus on what you want, obviously, but how also the orchestrator and the composer of that breathes in other elements of the orchestra. So it's not just strings. You know, you can hear these bold French horns or brass section that's happening in the background when that hook just came in. You know, when Hatfield gets all lit up in the hook and it gets into a really super cool part that we just listened to. Listen to the boldness of the brass section. And then it pulls down as the arrangement glides through. So we already know this song is an absolutely monster of a song, be it acoustic or rock version. Excuse me, but in this case, the only reason why I ask for you to give a little love with your ears to the orchestra is because it really does lift this song to a completely new platform, you know, new level. So let's listen to it.
So close, no matter how far. It couldn't be much more far apart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. But I know I never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. Hold these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view.
Okay, I lied. I had to stop one last time. There are quite a few counter melodies that are being filled up by the orchestra. Now, we're used to the guitar and how we've heard this song performed many times at home, in your car, YouTube videos, and in concerts. But for me as a composer, especially coming from the background that I've had in orchestral works and stuff like that, it is such a beautiful opportunity for the composer to fill in the colors with the orchestra and the voicings. Let's say the voicings. Usually you talk about voicings, it's about a single instrument and the notes that they choose to play to get a chord kind of thing. But he has such an absolutely wonderful opportunity and took full advantage of a very rich composition and using many different dynamics in the orchestra without taking it way out there. But I mean, I'm hearing everything from very, very, very soft, beautiful pads that kind of remind me a little bit of the work in Pink Floyd. You remember when I did that video, a lot of people were kind of like, wait, what? There's what, strings in there? Excuse me. But yet, while one melody is doing da da da, there's do 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 do, and then the brass section is holding another melody during that, or is answering that melody with its own melody, or it's actually harmonizing with the melody. And a lot of times that doesn't necessarily mean it's what James is singing. It could be harmonizing against the chord pattern in which he and sorry, brain fart, other guitar player is playing as well. So to me, it's wonderful because I love the song as it is. It's a standalone monster, but to add these colors in there the way the conductor, the orchestral composer did, for me is what really fattens this thing up and takes this to a whole different world. I already said that, so let me close this out. Wow, that was heavy. Now, I don't know why it stopped that way. It could be because of the way this track was got, per se. I don't know if it was a bit off a DVD or something, but anyhow, even that long note at the very end, that very low, I think it's an E, I think, that's just droning way out there is a tribute to the heaviness that could be created by an orchestra, but not every single instrument has to play. But for me, this was just a great example of what an orchestra can do behind the right song. Because I've heard orchestrations against metal tracks or rock tracks. I've gone, you know, it's kind of hard to battle through, you know, the power of the song in and of itself. Not saying that the composers didn't do a good job, but maybe it wasn't something to be married. But this was beautiful. This is a great way to start off my week. And I hope it was for you guys. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. If you have any other, remember I'm going to try to do an acoustic song every Monday. So if you have any more acoustic suggestions, please go ahead. I do want to say one thing really quick. I've had a few suggestions to say you've got to do the video on so-and-so or do this. Any video from Vivo, it says Vivo in the logo, is an automatic global block. So, you know, at times I might say, okay, well, I can do this, but I have to do it off Spotify, which I should most of the time anyhow, because Spotify sounds better and it translates better. But just wanted to let you know, as you send those suggestions, you can also send me Spotify links as well. All right, guys, listen, you take care of yourself. Thanks for hanging out here on the Decomposer Lounge. Want to buy me a cup of coffee, links below. Also for the headsets and the Patreon, and for this video, the link will be down below as well, so you can listen to this without me yammering on. All right, guys, take care. Aloha.
All right.